Anticipation is used to prepare the audience for an action and to make the action appear more realistic. An example could be the character standing still above a cliff before falling to his doom, the sudden stillness giving the audience a moment to prepare for the fall. Most of the time, anticipation like that is used for comedic effect.
Every action, with few exceptions, follows a circular/arc pattern, especially the movements of people and animals. Arcs give animation a more natural look and flow. Think of all movement as a swinging pendulum.
Solo drawing is where the animator or artist needs to show the character in a more realistic, artistic way. Does the character have width, depth, or balance is what you need to ask yourself.
Character appeal is the ability of the character to appear real and interesting. Characters designed with symmetrical or babyface qualities tend to be more likable, as opposed to complicated or hard-to-read faces, which typically lack appeal.
Staging. Staging is the presentation of an idea so that it is clear. The goal is to make it clear to the viewer what the main action is. An important idea is to try and lead the viewer's eyes to that action. Stray away from crowded shots when you plan on having a character talk.
Straight-ahead action is when you draw each frame of an animation until you reach the end. This makes the movements of the character look more spontaneous and zany. Post-pose action is when you draw a sequence of poses starting from the beginning to the end, then going through and drawing all the in-between frames. Either the animator or the computer can draw the in-betweens.
The most important animation principle is called squash and stretch. When an object moves, its movement indicates the rigidity of an object. Many real-world objects have little flexibility, such as furniture. However, most organic objects have some level of flexibility in their shape.
Exaggeration. Perfect imitation of reality can look static and dull. Remain true to reality, just presenting it in a wilder, more extreme form.
Timing. Timing is the amount of frames an object takes up as it moves across the screen. It can imply the weight, speed, and emotion of the object. The faster an object, the less frames it will use to fly across the screen. The opposite applies if the object is slower.
A secondary action is an action that results directly from another action. Secondary actions are important in heightening interest and adding a realistic complexity to the animation. It should always be subordinate to, and not compete with, the primary action in the scene.
Ease in and ease out, or sometimes known as slow in and slow out, is the spacing of in-between frames at maximum positions. It is the second and third order continuity of motion of the object. Rather than having a uniform velocity for an object, it is more appealing.
Overlapping action. Overlapping action is when one part of a character splits off and goes its own direction when the character changes direction. For instance, when a rabbit bounces up and down, the ears will lag behind and fly forwards as it goes up and down.